Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. So for today's video, we're back with another dance practice analysis. And just like last time, we're gonna go through it bit by bit. I'm just gonna point out some things that I think are interesting or some things that I think are done really well. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of break it down piece by piece. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it. So for today's video, we're going to be looking at the dance practice for Hoshi's Spider. When this song dropped a couple years ago, I was just like taken aback because I hadn't really gotten into 17 yet, but I had been aware of them. But when I watched the music video and the dance practice video and all of the stages for this song, I was just like mind blown. I was blown away by Hoshi and his presence and his energy and just his skill and ability as a dancer. And I think honestly that this is one of the best K-pop choreographies / performances ever. It's just, they do so many cool things in this choreography, and so I thought we'd go through it and just kind of break it down and just overall sing Hoshi's praises because he deserves it. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm anticipating already the fact that I might lose it and just start some kind of word vomit psycho babble. So let's hope it doesn't come to that. And okay, so we start off with a really strong image and we're already using direction to our advantage because we start looking up. Oh, this part is so cool. Like, sorry, I just want to add quickly that similar to how we talked about in Girl Gang, the dance practice, how they use props to their advantage, this choreography uses set pieces to their advantage. But yeah, there's a good use of set pieces, and throughout the video, we're going to see him interact a lot with them. But yeah, let's keep going. So many good use of levels. Sorry, just I might be pausing a lot in this video, just saying. But yeah, already we're seeing a good use of levels, and the bars themselves also help to create levels because we saw earlier that they were like all on the ground and like crawling backwards, but because the bars were there, that added more height to the shot. You see what I mean? It's so creative. Okay. And you see how the female dancers are in the back and we're looking through the bars. That creates depth, so it makes the performance look a little fuller. Sorry. I'm sorry. Last thing I'm gonna say about the bars for right now, hopefully. But they also kind of serve a little bit as frames, and they use that to create very interesting tableaus. So earlier we saw Hoshi was standing up and the dancers were kind of like crisscrossed in front of him. It's a very interesting image, very interesting tableau. So yeah, the bars serve multiple purposes throughout this choreography, and I love the ingenuity of that, you know? Okay, let's get back to it. Hoshi is such an incredible dancer. Like, that part gets me every time. I don't know why. It's just, it's so clean and smooth. He's like the master of clean lines and very intentional movements. Plus he's always like giving 110%. He is like the quintessential performer. I'm sorry. And here we have another good use of direction. They changed from looking through the bars, and now we're looking kind of like across them. There's so much to talk about. And another thing I love is that they're not confined by the bars. Here we have them moving away from them. So the bars become like a more traditional backdrop slash set piece that we would see in K-pop. But even still, there are dancers interacting with them, even while Hoshi himself is not near the bars. The use of space in this choreography is just, oh, everything about this is just so well done. If you've been watching my last couple of videos about like performance and choreography and movement and all of that stuff, like this is kind of like the perfect example of all of those concepts that I've been talking about. And it's amazing. I love it. I love this. Levels, yes. Even the way the camera moves in this is just, there's a lot of change in direction. We're not just looking straight forward, we're kind of like panning around or looking at him from a diagonal perspective, and all of that put together helps create these very interesting images, and you're getting to see the performance from a different perspective as well. I could watch this performance like over and over again, non-stop. And again, another change of direction. We went from looking at the bars from the side to looking through them again. And again, they're traveling through them, they're traveling around them, weaving in and out. The female dancers are like wrapping themselves around the bars. It's so cool. Oh, sorry. Oh my god, that final image. That part gets me every time. Let's watch it one more time. Like that image right there. Oh my god. See what I meant about the bars acting as a frame? Because here you can see how the bars in front of him are kind of framing the picture and himself, but they also add depth. It's kind of like in photography, like depth of field. It's that same principle here. And you've got the background and the bars in the foreground and him in the center. It's just, I'm just so awestruck. I'm so awestruck. Like even now, after having watched this dance practice video, like maybe 100 or more times, I'm still like finding things to be excited about, and like these little details that they add that just make it fresh every time. Like I said, I could watch this dance practice on repeat like over and over again and still not get tired because it's just that good. And then it just pulls out. Ugh. Everything about this performance is perfect. If anyone ever asks you what the perfect performance is in K-pop, show them this video. Okay. Let's cut her here and then we'll do some quick thoughts. Okay, thoughts. Amazing, incredible, fabulous, never before seen, just all around awe-inspiring, and I can literally feel my brain melting, even though I've watched this performance 100 times. Anyways, so yeah, let's talk about the choreo first. Aside from being super cool, super inventive, super ingenious, and just really fun, dynamic, and engaging, it's also very well balanced. By now you've probably heard me talk about the concepts and principles of movement ad nauseum. So I'm not gonna get too much into it here, but there's just a good balance of each principle. Like you've got some very quick, sharp movements that are lightweight, balanced with some really slowly drawn out, heavy movements. They ebb and flow between fast and slow. That kind of rhymed. There's a variation in the weight of certain movements, and not even just to like the extremes like light and heavy. They move along the spectrum of weight as well. And direction, which we talked a lot about in the reaction. And just really, really good variation in levels. There's very few moments I've found that everybody is all at one level. So yeah, good use of levels, and we already talked about the interaction with the set pieces. Again, it's very varied throughout. Sometimes they're just kind of walking through, sometimes they're weaving in and out, Sometimes they're not even anywhere near the set pieces. So yeah, it's just overall incredibly well balanced in every aspect. So yeah, mad props to the choreographer. I'm pretty sure that Hoshi either choreographed or helped choreograph this. So major props to him, because this is just spectacular. In the few years that this has been out, I haven't seen anything come near this caliber of performance and choreography. But that's just my hot take. Okay. Now I just want to talk a little bit more about the use of direction in the choreo specifically. The choreo plays a lot with direction and using direction to create different images. And it uses that change in direction to create events in the choreography. And what I mean by events are moments of significant change that, one, draw our attention because, like I said, change creates interest, and two, lets us know what's important. So it's basically like breaking down something, a performance, into different sections and letting us know that the change from this section to this section is important. Like, pay attention because we're doing something new now, essentially. And so it plays with direction to create those events. And so there are a lot of those moments throughout the choreography. Like, first we start with that very strong image of Hoshi just hanging from the bars and we're looking up at him. And then slowly the camera is kind of essential in this change of direction. But the camera pans down and then we're looking at him forward. And then the next event is when he drops down from the bars and the choreography kind of begins. But yeah, so the next big event is that change in direction from we're looking forward through the bars to looking at them from the side. I just shook my entire desk. But yeah, so that's the next kind of big change. And then I think the next big event is when they all like step away from the bars and the bars are just kind of behind them, like chilling in the background. And then again, when they're going back through the bars and then changing direction again, when it's just Hoshi and the male dancers and they're all kind of like switching positions and that part. And then again, you change direction once again for that final image. So yeah, I think it's a very clever use of direction, and it also just keeps the audience engaged. But yeah, I thought that was really cool how they used that and how they used different camera angles to show us new images throughout the choreography. So yeah, that was really cool. So props to whoever directed this dance practice, because I just feel like that was the way it was meant to be filmed. And it was really cool. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about the man of the hour, Mr. Kwon Sun-young. I could sing this man's praises all day. And not just because he's my bias, but because, like we saw, he's such a skilled dancer and talented performer. And while everyone who works in K-pop are good performers, there are always a few that stand out. Like, Hoshi is so detailed when it comes to his dancing. Like, if you watch him throughout the video, he's very intentional with every single one of his movements. Like I mentioned, he's very clean, he's very sharp, when to go slow, when to go fast. He's just so in control of his movements all the time that everything he does is intentional. He doesn't do anything by mistake. But yeah, if you watch him closely throughout the video, you can see he's also very intentional with the way that he uses his hands and his fingers, whether they're in a fist, whether he's got open palms or his wrists are relaxed when he uses his fingers. It's just like, I'm not gonna go through all the moments here because it'll take just way too long, but go through the dance practice yourself and just watch his hands and you'll see what I mean. It's that level of detail and intention that just adds a little something extra to his performances and makes him such a great performer. Like, it makes him stand out from the crowd. What else is he incredible at? Because he's incredible at everything. You can even like watch his face. He's also very like intentional with his facial expressions. He's very kind of immersed in the story of the song and the performance. And a lot of dancing is just acting with movement. Again, if you watch him closely, you can see that he sells the message of the song so well with just his facial expressions. Like, he's very committed to the role that he's playing. And again, it just adds an extra level of intrigue to the performance. And it's like you can't take your eyes off of him for 1 second because he's so intentional about everything that you're afraid you're gonna miss something. Honestly, it's just, it's inspiring. It makes me want to work harder to achieve like an even higher level of performance. Gosh, I'm so happy that this song and this choreography exists because it's just amazing. And I don't know what else to say, so I'm gonna just end it there. Well, that was the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and for staying to the very end. Honestly, I'm still reeling a little bit from this one. It was just so damn good. I'm still like awestruck. Even though I've seen this like 100 times. It's spectacular. But yeah, let me know what your favorite moment of the choreography was, or if there are any other dance practices you think I should check out that you think maybe are just as good, if not better. I'd love to see your opinions on that. So if you leave those down for me in the comments below, maybe one day we'll get to them. So yeah, that's it for me. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button because that helps me out a lot, and I will see you very soon with some more new content. Peace out. I've actually been bit by a spider before. It's not fun. It hurts. Very, very much. Take 3. 3. 7. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my brain shut off there.